like this from an end. Look.
Don't worry about this. It's 2x4 by 2x4. You're not going to break anything. It's with the door. Yeah, it's with the door. Door is good. Yes. Pull it out. Little bit.
Choked up?
Yes, little bit. Push it back a little bit. Up the back.
I'll pull it out a little bit. Yeah. Okay.
That's why I think all of that. I think it's the same foot we get 11 like this. There is no extension on the leg.
No. Yeah. Right now about my loading. I want to work with the loading.
That's it. Pull it down. Now go over there. Adjust it. It's with the post to 72 by 40. You're not going to break it something because you just lift it up and pull it up. That's what I'm doing over there with little more. Build it. Build it up. That's it. You are good.
Let me know once I'm clear so I can get down.
You're in the seat. Up to the floor. Pull it up. It's 4 screws everywhere. You're not going to break anything.
Okay.
I'll see you next time. Good luck there.
All right. Bye all. That was easy, huh? Okay, here we go. Hey, Mikey here from my sawdust filled shop, which right now does not really have a lot of sawdust because we went through from one end to the other and we filled about 30 barrels with sawdust. So I can't say my sawdust filled shop anymore, all right? But with this is a short video on a clamping station that I just purchased. We got to make some room in one of the areas up here in the front for a setup. It's a JLT, it's a Taylor clamp company, and what it is, it's a frame that has a bunch of loose clamp bars that have a 40-inch width capacity on them, 3.5-inch high plates on the clamps, and the system I bought is their 8-foot. They also have a 12-footer, a 16-footer, and you can gang these together if you got something really long. But what it is, the bar clamps, they kind of like clamp, they cantilever off of a frame. You'll see all that once I start setting it all up. If you guys are in the woodworking trade, you probably already know what a Taylor clamp setup looks like. You maybe all have, some of you might have them or have used them or have a shop that have used them and you've seen them. It's new for me though. Actually, a company next door to me had purchased one, and I saw it in action. I said, geez, I've got a couple projects that we're working on. We're in the middle of one project that needs several posts clamped up, and I got a bunch of beds to make. We're going to have to clamp up posts. Actually, I have two jobs. I have, three? I've got 5 beds for one client, and I've got 7 beds for another client. So I've got to clamp up a lot of posts for the for those beds, and So short term, right now, this thing's going to come in real handy for me. I have probably about 120 pipe clamps and about 3 dozen bar clamps. They're all Jorgensen brand, and they work great. I've been using them for almost 50 years, clamping up anything that we need that has to be clamped. But I can tell you, when I saw this in use next door in a friend's shop, how easy it is to set up something, and the fact that the plates on the jaws of the clamp are 3.5 inches high, and that's what most of my 4x4 posts are. I realized that it's so much quicker to use a setup like this to clamp up something rather than using my bar clamps, because the bar clamps are not high enough to clamp something 3.5 inches wide from one side. You've got to put clamps on both sides opposing each other. Otherwise, you're pulling down on the however many layers you're using to make up that post. You're pulling down on one side, and the other side actually opens up a little. So you actually have to clamp from both sides. And that's not easy, using individual clamps, you know what I mean? I won't say it's not possible. Obviously, I've been working 49 years doing this. And I bought a few clamps in my career. So obviously I've done it, but at this stage, I'm 68 years old, and at this stage in my life, I'm looking to make things a little bit easier on me. And not only easier, but faster, and maybe a little bit more precise, because the way this rack system is set, the clamp head part always stays at one spot, so it's easier to clamp up something in a perfect straight line, where when you're using the bar clamps and the pipe clamps, if there's bows to the wood, that's going to kind of follow the bows in the wood. It's not going to kind of straighten it out. So that's another advantage of having this system that you're going to see me setting up here. All right, so I did take a video unloading it off the truck. We've got the area all cleared out, or we got to finish clearing some of the area out. That we're going to set this up, and I'll put some video on it. I'll get some footage of clearing it and setting the clamp set up, and or getting the clamp rack set up. It's I believe the frame is in 2 pieces, a top and a lower, so we have to just bolt that together. And the clamp bars themselves, they just kind of clip on, they slide back and forth, they're cantilevered out, so there's no assembly on those. So at any rate, let's get going. Enough talking. Some people complain I talk too much, and I say fuck you, all right? You don't want to listen to me talk, then go watch somebody else, all right? Because I talk, and I know a lot of people appreciate me talking, because I'm explaining. When I'm talking, I'm not just blowing wind, I'm explaining what's going on, and there are some people that like to know what's going on, you know, the details that you don't see if you're just watching me. So, and no, I said fuck you to the ones that think I talk too much. No, I take that back, and I apologize. Maybe I do talk too much, and I do try to keep that down. And you know what? You can fast forward or skip over these talking sessions, all right? At any rate, maybe I'll when I edit this, I'll cut this talking out of here, all right? So, at any rate, here we go. I got to tear all this open. I'm not going to do this right now. I got a couple calls I have to make, and there's a couple other projects I have to do right now before I get on to this. So, other than that, let me just say, I bought this from a company. We're in New Jersey. I'm on the Jersey Shore. If you're not familiar with me, in Manasquan, New Jersey. We're in Monmouth County. I'm half a mile from the beach, the Manasquan Inlet. I bought this from a company called RT Machinery Company. They're out in Hughesville, Pennsylvania. And if you need any new machines, used machines, they have all kinds of woodworking equipment and all. They didn't have. I would have bought this used if I could have, if they had one in stock, but they didn't. They do have them on occasion, but at the moment they didn't. So I went for a new one. But they're good people there. I give them a call, talk to either Mike there, or Jill answers the phone. I think for a lot of times, Jill is a doll. They'll work with you to get the stuff packaged, give you a good price, and get the stuff shipped out. And I heartily recommend RT Machinery. I bought some stuff from them years ago. I'm not sure. I'm thinking I bought my joiner from them. I don't remember because it was 30 years ago maybe. I don't know. But they're good. They handled this okay. There was a small hiccup with the shipping company that brought it here, but we got past that problem, and they don't usually have those issues, but you know, there's hiccups in anything, you know, when it comes to delivery of heavy. This is over 1,000 pounds. This is 1,075 pounds, I think, this package, which is mostly the steel. Probably they built a nice pallet here. It's 2x4s, and they're screwed together. Every 2x4 is all butted right together for a little over 8 foot long here. 10 foot, I think it is, the pallet. And no, it's about 8 foot long. And it's solid enough, and I was able to grab it from the end, as you can see on my forklift. Normally you can't deliver that much weight out past the end of my forks, which are only 42 inches long. I was able to grab that off the truck from the end and just take it out and set it down. So they built a beautiful pallet, but I want to say it's probably better than 200 pounds just in that pallet itself. If they're screwed, yeah, they're all screwed together, so I'm probably going to unscrew that thing, take that all apart and salvage those. They've got to be 4 foot 2x4s, and there's got to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3 times 8. There's got to be about 25, 30 2x4s here, 4 foot long. So, well, maybe I'll just use it. We can maybe use that pallet for something else. And again, over talking. All right, that's it for the moment. Let me go get going here, and I'll see you in a bit. All right, bye all. Kind of interesting. I don't know if you can see this too well. There's a spring-loaded lever right here, and you see all these holes? When you press the spring, that lever has a pin on it, and it kind of drops into these holes, which you kind of bring it to whatever width you're looking for. And then you just tighten this. And where this differs from a regular bar clamp or a pipe clamp like the Jorgensens we use, when you tighten the handle on a bar or pipe clamp, the jaw up here moves back and forth depending on how much turning you're doing. This is a different setup. This always stays in the same location, and what it's doing, it's pulling this rod here, this long plate with all the holes, it's pulling that back and forth. So what's good about that, this spot always stays relative. So if you've got a bunch of these ganged up on the rack, your starting position is going to be a perfectly straight line. That is a huge advantage when you're gluing up, especially posts, because that will ensure that your posts are going to stay straight. If you use pipe clamps and you glue up 3 or 4 or 5 or just 2, whatever, pieces of wood to make up a post, if there's any kind of a bow to it, the pipe clamps are going to follow the bow. They're not going to really straighten them out. So this is an ingenious method they came up with here. All right, so that's my hat's off to these boys over there at JLT, the Taylor boys. So, all right. Anyway, let's start getting this squared off here. When I was arranging for shipping, I was talking to, I don't know if she's a secretary or receptionist or what. Her name is Jill, over there at RT Machinery Company, and she's a real doll. So if you ever want to buy one of these, and they sell all kinds of equipment, JLT, RT. And it's down a little booklet. She put together a little package for me. Here's like a little notepad. She has, oh, here's some pens with their logo, JLT, on it. And here, I'll hold this up so you can see their name. I don't know if that's focused or not. You can freeze frame it if you want. RT Machinery Company, and I believe that's the address on there. No, it's a website and there's a phone number. So yeah, give them a shout. Tell them Mike sent you from Custom Kitchens. Ask for Jill, she's a doll. And yeah, she asked me what color I like. I told her blue, okay? I think they had a couple different color hats. I don't really wear hats a lot. Let me look and see what I look like here. All right, but RT Machine Company, that's a nice little. And yeah, you want to keep your beer cold? There's a couple of cup warmers, cup coolers, whatever. Keep your coffee hot or your beer cold. So yeah, there's a couple goodies. There's 7 posts to clamp up on here. We've got 2 1.5-inch doors to build, 30 inches wide by 6'8" high, 80 inches or whatever. And there's a lot of panels and frame parts and all. So there's a lot of clamping and gluing. All the mahogany I've got is all in the rough. We've got some 8/4, 6/4, 5/4, and 4/4 that we're going to make up the entire project out of. And there's going to be a lot of clamping. All right, so I have over 120 pipe clamps, Jorgensen pipe clamps, 3/4 inch diameter pipe, and I have probably 3 or 4 dozen, I'm not sure the exact count, of the Jorgensen bar clamps. I've been using these things for 49 years. I've been working here 49 years, and I've gotten by with those pipe and bar clamps, literally 200 of them total maybe, and it has got me by, like I said, 49 years, so what the hell am I doing at 68 years old, spending basically $4,000, just a little under $4,000 delivered to my door? Well, I'll tell you, here's the reason. As you get older, you want things to be easier in your life. The longer I've been in this business, as each year goes by, I strive to do more and more perfect. Everything I do, I try to do as best as possible, all right? So, and I'm not going to take away from using the Jorgensen pipe clamps or the Jorgensen bar clamps. They're wonderful. They do an excellent job. They have obviously got me by for almost 5 decades here. But there's a couple shortcomings to them. Number one, they're a pain in the ass to get them all together, get them clamped on, individual clamping. It's kind of a pain in the neck, especially if you got a large project that needs a lot of clamps, all right? That's number one. Number two, bar clamps or pipe clamps always let me grab one. Okay, I just went and grabbed one of the Jorgensen bar clamps. This is a 3-footer, 36 inches, and I mean, these are an awesome clamp. These things, I mean, you can see it still looks kind of decent. It's got 5 decades of use on it in a production shop, so it's in use almost every single day on the job. 5 or 6 days, couple nights a week for 50 years, and look at it. They hold up on both. There's really nothing wears out, all right, as long as you're careful. Some guys put a pipe over top of this and they really crank down on it, and that can crack this. We actually have a couple that were cracked and I had to weld them back together again and all, but for the most part, these will hold up for lifetimes of use. And you cannot replace these in a cabinet shop. I bought this clamp set up here, not to get rid of these. These are okay for gluing up posts, panels, doors, whatever. There's a purpose for that that works for things that you can do with these, but will be easier with that setup, all right? But that won't replace this for clamping up box parts, cabinets or whatever, or sometimes a huge, large project that might involve a lot of radius work or something like that. I mean, there's times that these are indispensable. So I can't get rid of all my pipe and bar clamps, all right? But now, going back to where this has one advantage over this, one major advantage, all right? When you clamp up something with this and you start to tighten this, you notice that this plate starts to move forward, all right? So you're not really referencing from one spot all the time. These are welded, they stay stationary in a perfectly straight line, and as you're clamping, this part here is what's actually being moving back and forth. So you're referencing from a straight spot, all right? Now, if you've got a bunch of timbers that are maybe have a radius or something, or not timbers, any planks or wood or whatever, if there's a bow and you put a series of clamps across there, it's going to kind of follow the bow. If it's wide boards, you can maybe pull them or something, but for the most part, they're going to follow whatever the wood is, all right? That won't. That's going to make sure when you clamp something up, it's going to stay perfectly straight, all right? So there's the major advantage I find to this. I'm not going to talk about ease of use. I mean, to be able to, you can see here there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rails on there. I'm not sure if you can put a clamp on the top rail, but at least the 5 on So you can glue up 5 layers of panels, frames, doors, posts, whatever, on this 8-foot clamp. Incidentally, yes, this is 8 foot long. They also make a 12-footer and they make a 16-footer. You can see on the end here, there's a couple 1/2-inch plates welded. That's so you can gang these together. You bolt them together if you buy several of them, or 2 or more, whatever. And you can make it whatever length your wallet will afford, all right? If you've got a straight line for a mile, you can clamp up a mile of these things. And so, but for practical use, an 8-footer is it. They also make a 6-footer. All right, but this seems pretty good to me. And by the way, you're not restricted to gluing up something 6 foot. I mean 8 foot for this particular model. I can have something extending past both ends, use that, and then add individual bar clamps like this. So I can glue things up over 8 foot, but for the most part, most of the stuff I'm going to be working with are going to work fine on here, all right? So yeah, it's when you work, you clamp up panels, doors, whatever you're gluing up with these, you're working on a bench, and if you've got multiple ones, you've got to clamp it up and then take it off the bench, unless you got a lot of bench space, which I have a lot of, but we're still kind of restricted. So you got to take these off and move them somewhere. They get heavy, the clamps are heavy, the stock is heavy. No, there's the advantage here. You glue up one layer, it stays there. You put another layer of clamps on, you glue up a second one, and a third one, and a fourth one, and a fifth one, and I'm not sure about the 6th one up top. I think they'll fit up there, but it's just kind of high. You might have to work on a bench to be able to get to the levers to turn them. But yeah, so that's this is our new toy. So okay, not replacing these, but a great addition to the shop. Okay, so one more little thing. So now this is the beginning of this setup for this clamp, the JLT clamp setup. I bought it from RT Machinery in Pennsylvania. They're great people. Give them a call. I work with a girl named Jill, and she's an absolute doll, all right? They give good prices. I also spoke to a salesman, Mike, there. I think it was Mike. There's a Mike there, just like me. I'm not sure if he was the salesman I originally spoke to, but whatever. They put this package together, got it shipped out, and if it wasn't for a hiccup with the shipping company, I would have had it next day, but all's well ends well. It's here, and my hat's off to the folks over at RT, and I don't have it now, but they actually gave me a hat, a blue hat with RT Machinery. A bunch of other little goodies they sent too. They give you those little cup warmers. You put a beer or coffee or whatever, or water to keep them hot or cold. They sent me a pad, some pens, a whole bunch of little. She put together a little goodie package, Jill did. And Jill, if you're watching this video, thanks a lot. You're the best, okay? I gave them a list of machines I'm looking for. Hopefully we can do some more business down the road. And I heartily recommend them. They are great people, okay? So, JLT clamp, 8-foot section, 40-inch jaws, 18 clamps. It takes up floor space of 6 foot by 8 foot. And it is an awesome thing, and I can't wait to get into this project. We'll talk to you later. Look for more.